Hey, my friends, it's Andy coming to you live from Southern California. You know, even when I'm I'm going to be honest with you, I just woke up from a nap. So even when I just wake up from a nap, the music starts and I get my energy, I get my mojo on, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I am a little disappointed because there was a couple scenes from the movie that I wanted to show, but Apple, in their genius, made it so that it's impossible for me to share my screen with the video in it. It goes black. They think of everything. How do they know that Andy from Southern California was going to try to share one of the greatest movies ever made and black it out so I can't do it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share audio. I'm going to move my mic over to the computer because there's one part that you need to hear because I've been talking about this over the last several days. So there's one aspect of this movie that's really important. And then I'm going to talk about what's behind me here. It's a little bit of a mess. This is kind of how I think. It's a mess. It's a mess, but I'll try to make it make as much sense as possible. But first, let's talk about our sponsors because this is super important. I need money. I'm going to actually have a donation button or whatever they call that at some point where you can just like give like 50 cents or $100,000, whatever it is you want to give. I'm going to make that available. I keep about every day that I do a show, I go, gosh darn, I got to get that thing set up. And I keep forgetting because at some point, this is taking a lot of my time and I'm not making a living at it. All right, so let's go to today's, what happened to my, so hold on. Well, we'll start with today's seaweed oil. Why not? Today's seaweedoil.com. Go there to get our great seaweed oil from Viseo, one of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world. It uses liposome technology. It's patented, and it's fantastic. I'm on the wrong thing here. Let me fix this. There we go. And, I told you, I just woke up from a nap. That's my excuse. And today's happycoffee.com. I need something from today's happycoffee.com because I'm a little thrown off right now. But go there. It has happy hormones. It's not just coffee. It's lemonade here. And I use the Georgia peach, so I don't have the tub for that. But great stuff. Great tasting. Kicks your butt, get you into gear. I took a nap just because I could today and just wanted to. I just wanted to lay around. I don't have the kids this weekend, so why not take a nap? I've watched the movie that I'm going to be reviewing here, the Trump card, and I've watched it 4 times. Yes, I know, very bizarre, but I have watched it 4 times. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just one second. And then go to today's Viseo.com for the other healthcare products. The Core Complete, which is a great vitamin. We have a protein. Sorry, I'm looking around for all my stuff here. We got a new protein shake. This is brand new. We have chocolate and vanilla. One is vegan and one is vegan plant-based, and the other one is whey. And then we also have skincare products, which is scientifically proven to turn back the hands of time. All right, so those are my 3 products I'm going to sell to you right now. Go and try them out. You can try them, and then if you don't like them, you can return them for free. You won't because they're fantastic. All right, my friends. Hey, Don, nice to see you. Come on, man. Android. Who uses an Android? Is that still a thing? I mean, do people still have those? It's kind of like finding out that, what's his name? What's that guy's name? Oh, shoot. I shouldn't have said it now. I always forget it. I'm forgetting now. What was his name? He was a sports guy. That's the guy. I didn't even know that he was doing anything. Apparently, he was doing some stuff other places. What's his name? Keith Olbermann. Keith Olbermann. Who knew that he... I thought he was just a sports guy. Apparently, he's gone crazy. And now I am to consider myself a... shoot. What am I supposed to be considering myself? Somebody help me out. I hate that there's a delay because you guys can answer really fast. What am I supposed to? Oh, a maggot. I'm supposed to be a maggot now. I like deplorable a little bit better. So I don't mind being a maggot deplorable because it's very close to MAGA deplorable. So you can kind of fit that in. It's not that big of a deal. But who knew that he was anything? Was he on some other shows or some other channels? I really don't know. I know him as a sports guy. That's all I know. So I'm shocking to find out that he's gone crazy about our great president. All right. Isn't it great to see him today at the Brexit rally that they had at the White House? I thought that was fantastic. And then the Brexit rally afterwards was all great today. Just really, really great people. All right. Let's get into talking about this very, very, I didn't make a graphic for it. I'm so sorry. I would have to bring down my Trump card. Trump Card is a great, great movie. It came out yesterday. I've already watched it, like I said, 4 times. The only other movie that I'll probably watch it a couple more times. The only other movie I've watched this much is a movie called Airplane. You know Airplane? I've watched that movie 19 times, maybe more. I went to the theater to watch it, I think 10 or 12 times. Yes, I love that. It's one of my favorite movies. So it's really odd that the only 2 movies that I've watched, you would think it'd be something closely related, but Airplane, not related to Trump Card. Trump Card's scary. I was telling somebody last night, Amy, I was telling her last night that it was scarier than The Exorcist. I saw The Exorcist when I was young, and it scared the crap out of me. It affected me for years. It was so scary. Another movie was when I was a kid that scared me was the one where God takes people, I forget what it was called, but it was when he comes back, the rapture, and he takes you away, and you could be mowing the lawn, and then those people that didn't go to heaven come home and see the lawnmower running, or like a mixer in the kitchen was still running because that person, believed in Jesus Christ and gave himself to him or her to Jesus Christ. Whatever that movie was, somebody knows what that's called. But it's the rapture, left alone or taken away or taken or so. I forget what the name of the movie, but it was a long time ago. I saw it on a white sheet in a field in the state of Washington with a bunch of other people that didn't, all the women didn't shave their armpits or their legs. It was a commune of some sort, but I saw it there and it scared the crap out of me. Very Left Behind. Yes. Thank you, Amy. Left Behind. Yes. Oh, scared the heck out of me. So this movie, Trump Card, is a bit scary. You need to see it. There are so many great moments in this thing, and I'm not sure how to give a review. I don't know that I've ever reviewed a movie before, but I may be just messing this whole thing up. But the reason I like this movie is because it is Dinesh D'Souza, who is the producer, director. I don't know if he edited it too. I should have watched to see, if he did most of everything on there. He did a really good job of bringing other people on. It's not just his opinion. Right, a great documentary will have supporting information, other people that they interview to support the, the message that the producers want to get across. But he does a great job of bringing other people on. It starts with these words: "A specter is haunting America." Now, I had to look up specter because I'm not that smart. Now, specter. Oh man, did I get rid of it? Shoot, specter. The meaning of specter is not the movie producer, a guy who turned out to kill people later on. Not that guy. So it's a word. A visible, incorporeal spirit, especially one of a terrifying nature, ghost, phantom, apparition. Don't know what that means. I have to look up all these words. Some object or source of terror or dread. The specter of disease or famine. So he opens, Dinesh opens this up with: "A specter is haunting America." Wow. And it did. That movie, and now that I looked up that word, because now I wanted to understand what it means, that word fits many of the details. And what I'm going to do is try to go through as many of the bullet points as possible. I'm not going to talk about them all and bring them up. There is one aspect that I want you to listen to that I think is super important, but I'm going to bring up the different bullet points that we talked about. Now, I'd hope to have a guest on to help me with this, because I don't want to be the only one saying that I thought the movie was fantastic. I wanted somebody else to come on, but everybody is afraid. Everybody either doesn't have their hair right, or they have dogs that need to go to the vet, or they got some excuse why they couldn't come on. They got to put makeup on, like Dawn maybe had to put makeup on. I'm not sure, but just kidding. Dawn was not part of this. I just threw him under the bus for no reason. Amy says here, "This is an awesome movie. I've only watched it twice so far." Hey, come on. I've watched it 4 times. All right. Now, somebody was talking about Oberman. Hosted the weeknight Political. Who knew? All right. I didn't even know. Sorry. So I don't know. Was he doing that for like a couple days, or was he doing it for a long time? I don't know. Apparently he's not doing that. I don't know. Anyway, the Left Behind movie. Yes. So sorry. Kirk Cameron has a new one. I think had a new one that came out. very, very much. So yeah, so the Apple would not allow me to share my screen so you could see the movie and see what I'm talking about. But as I go through this, let me just talk about a couple of things. What I love about this movie is that it's really well written. It goes step by step, many of the things that I brought to you. So the great thing, as usual, is what I like to point up here is that I may be wrong, but I doubt it, is that it's supporting information of many of my shows. I know at some point this had to come back to me, right? But when it talked about many things, but it went into greater detail. So I even learned about the things that I already kind of knew about and added to my knowledge base so that I could speak to you on these shows. And so what I loved is it broke down, because it's just not one aspect. The Democrats, the evilness of the Democrat Party is not just to destroy America in one way. There's lots of facets to the destruction of America. And there's lots of people that have kind of jumped on the bandwagon that hate America, that are in the midst of everything. Everybody, and it is really crazy, right? When you really begin to think about it, and again, I brought this up hundreds of times, and I'm sorry that I'm going to be repeating myself, but it is amazing that Donald Trump became the president of the United States and is still the president of the United States and will continue to be the president of the United States, but there will be a fight. Right. But the amazing part is that he got there and that he's still there, because there's so many different aspects, and I don't know how to put it, but different bodies of evilness. Right. Yeah. And I'm going to go through some of them. And you have, the people that love abortion. You have the people that are LGBTQ, LMNOP people. You have communists. You have Marxists. You have people that hate law enforcement and law and order. You have imams from Iran. You have a Middle Eastern terrorism, right? There's a lot of different groups, and they've banded together. It's kind of like, how you have, somebody may have to help me out on this, how you have the group of superheroes, right? They banded together, right, to fight crime. This is just the opposite. And I don't know if there's a movie that has a replication of this, but it is all the evilness in the world has banded together against the United States of America in the form of the Democrat Party. And there's many Democrat friends of mine who don't see it. And this is where I kind of get pissed off and say, you're being dumb. When I'm telling you you're being dumb, it's because you don't realize you're in the midst of evilness. And this isn't a Christian thing or a God thing. It's just true evilness, terrorism, hatred for law and order, love of killing children, love of molesting children. There's all these facets, and this is not hyperbolic. Again, if I would not think that I was talking this way. If old Andy from merely a year ago or 2 years ago was looking at Andy today, you go, Andy has gone nuts. Because he's talking about things that are conspiracy theories, and they're crazy, right? No, this is real. There is no doubt in my mind that you have a faction in each one of these areas that has joined and the Democrat Party is going, yeah, come on, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care that you want to be part of a terrorist organization. You name it, right? Antifa, BLM, whatever Middle Eastern terrorism group that you want to name, whatever those are, right? It's okay. Come in. And the thing I want to play for you is that very thing, that they're just saying, you hate America? Join us. It's awesome. If you want to kill children, join us. If you want to molest children, join us. In California, we've seen it. They've lowered the law, the punishment for child molestation so that you can be free. You no longer have to be you never have to sign up and be a 290 registrant and a sexual predator. But they've all joined. So they got this group of evilness that have joined together under the heading Democrat Party. And this is what's is brought out in this movie. And again, the supporting information and the people they interview really makes this something that you need to watch. The sad part is that the people that need to watch it will never watch it. The people that need to watch it will never watch it because they don't want to know. They don't want to know how dumb they're being. They don't want to know. It's better to be naive, right? It's people that want to be stupid. Chris Rock, and I won't say the whole thing because it's racist what he says, but the people that want to be naive and stupid, you hide whatever it is that they need to see in books because they'll never open up the book and read it. The joke is, again, it's a racist joke, but he's black and he can say it. I'm saying it in a much different way. The joke is that if you want to be naive and stupid and not educated, you hide your valuables in books because it's safe. They'll never open the book to see it. And so the specter, a specter is haunting America. A specter is haunting. It is really, that is, I think the first two times, I'm not sure, Amy, if you felt the same or anybody else to watch it, that when that was said, I just kind of went by. Right. The second time I watched it, just went by. The third time I go, you know what? I need to look up and see what specter means, because he's starting the movie with this phrase. And if I was Dinesh and I wanted to start the movie, I would want to make sure that whatever I started with was powerful to make people continue to watch. Now, even me, being as not as educated as I would like to be sometimes, is that I didn't know what that meant. And so I had to look it up. And when I looked it up, I go, oh, no wonder he started the movie that way. He is right. He is so right. The movie then goes into the American Revolution, and he goes to say the American Revolution is successful. There's nobody that could deny that the American Revolution has been successful. That's why many other countries hate us. That's why dictators hate us. That's why other countries want to be us. That's why people are breaking into America, not breaking out of America, because the American Revolution worked. Throughout the American Revolution, what came out of the American Revolution was success. What is not successful was the Soviet revolution of socialism. It equals disaster. 100 million people casualties are approximated because of socialism, because of the Soviet revolution, which was the first one to try socialism, and it spread across things. Everybody thought, well, you know what, we'll try socialism. We're just going to do it better. And what I love that Dinesh says in there, and I forget who he's talking to when he says it, he goes, nobody, so there you got slavery and socialism, both suck, both don't work, both have killed people, both have caused a lot of fear and hurt and injury and death, both of them, socialism and slavery. But people keep trying socialism, but you never hear anybody say, you know what, let's try slavery this way. Let's do it, right? Nobody would ever say, let's try it a different way because it actually works. Like, no, it does work. You get people work for you for free. And it's great for the person who's the slave master, but it never is good for the slave. Right? But in socialism, it kills people. It never works. There's not a country that has tried it that has worked. Now, he goes into the other countries where you have AOC, who says that it works in these other countries, Scandinavian countries, and they Dinesh talks about that and the myth and goes through that and has actually some leaders from Scandinavian countries who come on and say, we don't do socialism. they don't know what they're talking about. That's not what we have. As a matter of fact, the tax is spread out throughout. Everybody pays. And the people that probably get hurt the worst are the people that make the least. Because the tax of everything within that country is all the same across the board for everybody, whether you're rich or poor, it's all the same. And that's how they can provide free stuff. But it's not by taxing the rich and giving it to the poor. They tax everybody. It's a market. It's a market type of social, not even socialism thing. All right. You really should read the definition of specter. I just did. Did you want me to read it again? That's what I read. Did I read something different? It's from the definition of specter at dictionary.com. A visible, incorporeal spirit, especially one of terrifying nature, ghost, phantom. Is there a different one? Here, I don't know what you're talking about. Specter sentence examples. Andre Specter appeared to, I don't know. I read the definition. I don't know what I read. Did I not read it correctly? I know I stumbled through it. I don't know what I did. Who knows? All right. So, all right. Maybe there was a glitch or something. All right. So we talked about that. So let's go back to the banners here. So there's that aspect, and really he does a really good job of the difference between American Revolution and Soviet Revolution. You have the myth of democratic socialism, which I just talked about. I skipped ahead. Talks about that. in regard to Scandinavian countries. And then goes into great detail about USA capitalism. And as a matter of fact, he uses The Art of the Deal, which is one of Donald Trump's books, and goes through how capitalism works. The great thing that I like that he said about capitalism, I'm just going to say this one thing. It encourages creativity and empathy. And what is good about capitalism, and what is exactly what socialists kind of are hoping for, because they like to say that capitalists, they like to say that billionaires, that the owners of these big corporations are evil, horrible people. But these people would never become successful if it wasn't for the consumer. It is the consumer who is in charge, not the billionaires. So the billionaires aren't in charge of what makes them the money. They would never become billionaires if it wasn't for the people that purchase them. And so it is the consumer. If the consumer decides that they don't like what's going on, then stop buying. The NBA is feeling that right now, right? Their viewership is down 60 some odd % because of the BS that they've been pulling with Black Lives Matter. It's a horrible, you don't want to back Black Lives Matter. Staples is backing Black Lives Matter. I hope nobody ever buys another staple from Staples, because, and I'm not into that kind of thing. I just choose, I will never go to Staples again. I took Netflix off of my kids. Go, you're taking Netflix? Yeah, we're taking Netflix. And they've gotten over it. I don't watch any professional sports. And that's because I have chosen through my choices. I know that's a very profound statement, but I have chosen through my choices not to give them my money, right? And that is the great thing about capitalism and me being a consumer. As a consumer, I choose not to go to Staples. I choose not to go to Starbucks. I choose not to view anything in regard to professional sports. I cancel Netflix, and I'm sure there's a couple other things that I've done. And that is what I do, right? I'm not telling everybody else to boycott. I don't think boycotts work. As a matter of fact, just the opposite with Goya. Somebody said, boycott Goya. I'm going to buy Goya. Why? Because they are capitalists. They support the president of the United States. They promote the Constitution of our United States, and they are capitalists within the United States. And I support them, right? So you tell me to boycott something like that, I'm not. I'm going to purchase. And that is the great thing about capitalism. I can choose to buy. I can choose not to buy. And that is a great thing that they brought up in this movie that Dinesh brought up. Identity socialism. I think I have that one here. Hold on one second. Identity socialism, which is exactly what we're going through in regard to Black Lives Matter and I don't even know, not Antifa probably, but in regard to cancel culture and what's going through with these award shows like Emmys and all that kind of stuff that that they want to get on there and have these little statements about who's right and who's wrong, and if you don't follow us, we're going to cancel you. We're not going to, you can't act in Hollywood, that kind of stuff. And really does a really good job in relationship to skin color, sexual orientation. Terrence Williams is on, the comedian Terrence Williams, who's great to follow. If you don't follow him on Twitter and on Facebook, you're making a huge mistake, because he just cracks me up. But he loves Donald Trump. He's a black guy, a black comedian that loves Donald Trump and gives his reasons why he loves him. The one thing that he says in the movie is that a lot of blacks didn't vote for Donald Trump, and so in the way Democrats say, well, you're not going to vote for us, we're not doing anything for you, right? And there's like this tit for tat. You don't vote for me, I'm not giving you crap. Where Donald Trump said, it's okay, you didn't vote for me, I'm still going to do as much as I possibly can for your community. And that's why you saw Blexit today. That's why you saw him at their rally today. That's why you saw all the great support for him today. That's why you see like Candace Owens and the Hodge twins and Terrence Williams and a whole bunch of other leaders in the black community coming out and saying, this guy's great. I didn't vote for him, but I am now because he's fantastic. And he's doing more for the black community than any other president in our history since Abraham Lincoln. And then there's a Hispanic guy, and I didn't write down his name, but there's a Hispanic guy that comes on during this whole talk about identity socialism, which is on my screen. I don't know why I'm looking at my notes. And he talks about, being Hispanic, that, he's his mom, I think, or his grandmother was an immigrant in the United States. He learned from his mom that the United States of America is a fantastic place and that you work hard, you can succeed. And what he talked about, and which was great, is that when something is given to you, you don't appreciate it. And so in regard to socialism, you're given free education, you're given all kinds of free stuff, right? Everything is free. He said the problem with that is that you don't appreciate it, and you tend to work harder to keep something that you worked for, as opposed to you don't work hard. You know, it kind of, if it's given to you, you kind of like, I don't. It didn't cost me anything. What do I care whether it becomes damaged? Like if somebody gives you a car as a kid, you don't quite take care of it as well as you do unless you purchase it yourself. If you purchase a car yourself, you tend to take care of that car a lot better. And so one of his big statements, and he made a lot of really good statements, but one of them was when something is given to you, you just don't take care of it. The next thing that was discussed was abortion, which I find interesting for myself. This has become a bigger issue with me, and I really like the way that his daughter, who is writing a book on abortion and Roe versus Wade, talked about this, and I agree. Now, again, I had my own views years ago. My views have changed. I did not think that government, I'm going to go through just a little bit. I didn't think government had a place in deciding one way or another. I just think it needs to be taken off altogether. Just if there's people that can give a safe abortion, they should be allowed to exist. But if you are a Christian, don't have an abortion because we don't believe in it. And so I had this little bit of a separation thing. But as the Democrats, and I think they've gone nuts, and I think this is the problem. I think they've gone a little bit too crazy in regard to, I think that anytime they think that the conservatives, Republicans, aren't for something or are for something, is that they go to an extreme. And they only go to the extreme because they want to make us look as horrible as possible and to try to make a point or something. It's not that it's not just, I'm just going to use abortion. So it's not just if you just had sex with somebody and then as soon as you find out that you're pregnant and then had the abortion within a couple weeks or months of conception, that I'm not, again, listen, I don't want to get into a whole discussion. Don't start writing a whole bunch of things. I just want to make this point, please. At this point, I know this is very controversial, but there was a time where I would have thought, well, it was an accident and, and you don't have money and it was a one-night stand or you were raped and all these, so you have all these things. So within a couple of weeks or months of conception and you have an abortion, I could almost say at the time, not being who I am today, thought that, I can understand because it's life-changing, right? I have 5 kids. It's life-changing. It's life-changing to have one. I have 5. Can you imagine how life-changing it is to have 5 kids? It's life-changing. It alters your whole world. It is impossible to keep up with 5 children. So let me just make this point. So the Democrats, in their hatred for conservatism and their hatred for God, their hatred for churches, and I know that they say, well, I'm a Catholic. Shut up. You're an idiot. So let's just say now you're a Democrat and you're going, how is it that I can hurt conservatives? You know what we're going to do? We're going to vote in a law that allows you to abort a child at birth. Yes, that will really show them we're going to approve that because we hate conservatives that much. We hate God that much. We hate churches that much that we're going to kill children at birth. And New York signs in a law that you can kill children at birth. It's not because they really want to. I don't know. Do they? They might. I don't know. They may want to eat the child. I don't even know anymore. I don't know anymore. But that's how they think. It's not just says, hey, after 2 months, then you can't. Hands off. You can't have an abortion. Like they could have kind of maybe had a lot of the people that were on the fence, like me back in my past, that said, all right, I'm okay with that you can have an abortion within I'm going to go with a month, within a month of conception. I don't know all the medical stuff with abortion per se, so I don't know if it's even possible, but you have the morning after pill and all this other kind of stuff. So there was a time that if you just would have left it there, leave it alone at a month, right after conception. But no, they go so far that the kid's head coming out and then whatever. Like it's really kind of crazy. And that's why I've changed my views on abortion. And that's why I've changed my views on why I think the government needs to step in and say, no, you guys are crazy. You guys have lost your ever-loving mind. If you put as much effort in teaching children how not to get pregnant, if you put as much effort of how to teach children to use protection or, young children, young kids and adults, if you put as much effort in wanting that you do and in wanting to kill children, creating Planned Parenthood, all the money that goes to Planned Parenthood, all the money that goes to the doctors that kill babies, all the effort that goes into the campaigns to be able to kill babies. If you took all that effort and all that money in teaching young adults and children how not to get pregnant, we wouldn't have to even worry about it. I mean, that really is the solution. So how about that? How about taking all that fudging effort? Wow, I almost said it really strong and loud. Taking all that effort in effing and saying, hey, if you're gonna F, wear something or pull out in time or teach them how to do it or just don't do it, right? I don't understand. I know that in my young ages, I took my chances. I happen to be very good. I'm just gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. Is that okay with you? I'm gonna go. I was really good at pulling out on time, right? But I never would have had an abortion, even though I didn't think it was okay for the government to tell me whether I could have one or not back in those days. I wouldn't have, because you're rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice, right? Here's my dice. You're rolling the dice, right? You probably couldn't hear that, but you're rolling the dice, and oh dang, I lost. We got pregnant. Never happened in my life, and I'm not even going to go and tell you how crazy. But let's just take all that effort. And I didn't mean to go on this whole thing that long, but really, when I watch the documentary and look at the baby in the womb and that kind of, I see hands, right, and eyes and a brain and legs and a heart beating, all that kind of stuff. And it's like 2 months in, 3 months in. I don't even know when that picture was taken that they showed. I should know, right? Having 5 kids, I should know exactly what stage that was. I don't remember, but it was early in the stages. When you find out that when you go there and have the ultrasound and they take that one ugly picture, right? It's a 3D. Never have the 3D picture taken of your child. It's horrible. They look like a freaking alien. Don't do it. It's horrible. They look like really ugly. Oh no, this kid's coming out ugly. Dang it. I don't want an ugly kid. Right? You go, can we just push it back until it gets done? Whatever. So sorry, I didn't mean to go there. But you're killing somebody. You are killing somebody, whether it's in the womb or not. And again, I've changed my my complete view on that stuff. So sorry, I didn't mean to go on the whole thing. This really is still about Trump card, but it's a very short section, but it's very important. Choice to kill because you made a bad choice. That was my own thing. Gay conservative. Oh, there's a great. I don't have it on here. I didn't put it on here. But there's a great discussion with a gay conservative named Scott Percival. Scott Percival, he cleans up trash in Democratic-run cities that are just full of crap and just run down, horrible. Baltimore, Los Angeles, just horribly run cities, and cleans them up, as best he can, right? I think like something like 50 million pounds of trash or something like that out of Los Angeles. Craziness. A really great discussion with that guy, right? And why he's a conservative and why he likes Donald Trump. Not to want to solve the problem because they want. Oh, yeah. So this is why I wrote that up, because there's a great statement. They go, Democrats don't want to. Don't want. Hold on, I got to read my writing is horrible sometimes when I'm laying. Democrats don't want to solve the problem because they want to be the solution. Oh, that was and I'm sure that's been said before, but I'm gonna write that down, and I'm probably gonna use it as my own. I'm gonna pretend that I made it up. But Democrats don't want to solve the problems; they always want to be the solution, but never fix the problem. I'm the solution, right? Democratic-run cities. If we look at Baltimore, we look at Chicago, we look at Minneapolis, we look at New York, we look at Los Angeles, we look at Portland, we look at Seattle. Is that they don't want to ever solve the problems that they have in those cities, which we've seen, right? 100 and something days, I don't know how many days of rioting and looting and pilfering in Portland, but they keep saying they're going to be the solution, right? They don't want to solve the problem. They want to be Baltimore, one of the worst schools, districts, school programs in our country, gets the most money, and yet still produces low outcome in regard to education for children. They don't ever want to solve the problem. They want to get the money, but they always want to be the solution. I thought that was fantastic. All right, let me get to this clip that I want to play here. And this is going to be wonky, and I'm so sorry, but Apple knows there's people like me that want to, want to use some of content that's only found on their platform. And so I'm going to play some of this audio, and I hope that you can hear it. I'm going to do my very best. I need somebody to tell me, hey, we can't hear it. It's not worth it. You know, bail out, bail. But if you provide the solution, who would need you anymore? Exactly. There's no money in a solution. Absolutely. Well, if you have a chance, send me the movie. Otherwise, I won't see it for a long while. How can I send you the movie? I don't know how to send you the movie. Come on, Dixie, do a search. Do DuckDuckGo. I'm trying not to ever use that other word, the other G word anymore. That's what I'm going to talk about right now. Amy's beat me to the punch here. The movie discusses Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota. She promotes abortion Americans, but is vehemently opposed to abortion Muslims. Okay, I'm going to try this. Please tell me to bail out, Amy, or anybody that's watching. I'm going to turn my volume all the way up, and I'm going to play this portion of the movie. I think that it's okay. I think it's going to be okay. Ends in 20. I know it ends shortly. Hold on.
But doesn't identity socialism and radical Islam make strange bedfellows? I raised the question with Imam Muhammad Dahidi.
Any Islamist will tell you that America is the enemy of Islam. They're chanting death to America every single day. I did it for 7 years. Death to America, death to Israel.
What is the fundamentalist and jihadi agenda for America?
The future of America has to be Muslim.
So here's a paradox. In America, we have a political left. It's a progressive left. As you know, it's sexually permissive. And this political movement appears strangely allied with radical Islam. Can you explain this?
When I was an extremist, Islamist, fundamentalist, I would only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because they come with principle. That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left, I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I need to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. Would never do it. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that. And Omar, she's fighting for abortion rights and all the other, my body, my choice. Yes, go do that, go do it. But would she have an abortion? Never. Never. Would she kill a Muslim in her stomach? Never.
What's your take on her?
Fundamentalist, extremist, Islamist, jihadi ideology, a threat to national security, ISIS with lipstick.
And would it be fair to say that what Ilhan Omar wants is for all of America to look like her community?
Without a doubt. Firstly, the Muslims in Ilhan Omar's district are more radical than radicals in the Middle East.
New report by Congress says more than 250 Americans have attempted to join ISIS. 1 in 4 is from Minnesota, many of them former refugees.
Do you feel more comfortable living under American law, or do you feel more comfortable living under Sharia law?
Sharia law. I'm a Muslim. I prefer Sharia law.
You prefer Sharia law over American law?
Of course, yeah.
What's the relationship between radical Islam and socialism in America?
Votes and common interest.
The Muslims are delivering the votes
Yes.
to their leaders.
Yes.
And what do the socialists and the progressive left give in exchange?
They give them a platform. They give them the media. They protect them.
If we have Islamic domination, which is the goal, as you suggest, will Americans become strangers in their own country?
Americans who have values, who believe in freedom of speech, freedom of belief, freedom of religion, Americans who want to raise their families as Christians, they will feel as strangers.
Treason, division, and the politics of fear and exclusion. This is their socialist dream for America.
Wow. So I hope you can watch this movie because that is one of the scariest parts. Amy, if I'm wrong, tell me if I'm wrong. That was one of the worst parts of that of this movie for me. And the thing that this is an imam who used to be a terrorist or a person that wanted the death of the United States of America. They really don't say how he feels now. I don't know why he's speaking out, but apparently he's changed his colors just a little bit. But that he says that that's because Democrats are stupid. He comes out and says what I've been saying for the last several days, or maybe the last several months, is that I don't understand why you're doing this. It either is because you are stupid or you're pretending to be stupid. And he comes out, the reason that we have chosen the Democratic Party is because they're stupid. Conservatives have principles and morals. That the thing against the reason they just, that they fear the most is that the Republicans, that Donald Trump will be in power because we have principles and morals. And the Democrats are saying, that is horrible that you have principles and morals. Oh, it's a movie. He's an actor. Okay. No, this is more like a documentary. This is a documentary. These people are real. And you can believe that they're actors if you want to. No, that guy was not an actor. They show these people, all the people that they had, they show them in their previous life or earlier when they were doing whatever they were doing. There's other things that obviously I couldn't show. That's why I wanted to show the clip, but Apple won't let me. As soon as I try to share my screen, it blacks it out. And you can't see it, and it won't open up in Chrome. If it could open up in Chrome, I would have played the audio over Chrome, but I can't. But no, he is not an actor. That guy is the real deal. All right, so let me continue here just a little bit, a few more things, just to kind of get you interested. I'm encourage you to watch this film, and then I have a message. Stick around because I have a message at the end that I think is really important that I share with you towards the end. And I don't have much farther to go. It also goes in. I talked about abortion. I just showed you what about the Muslims, whatever her name is, how dangerous she is. They talk about the Cuban hospitals, how you have what's his name, Michael Moore, who did a documentary about how fantastic Cuba is when they're socialism. And look at the hospitals; they're so nice. And even the nice ones he showed were not that nice. He says that the nice one they showed is only for wealthy people and people in the political parties. The people in the government are the only ones who get to go to the nice hospital. They showed what the real hospitals look like in Cuba, and you wouldn't take your dog there. There's no way. Most people would go there, but they would definitely not take their dog or their cat to the hospitals that they showed there. They have no way of decontaminating or sterilizing the tools that they use for operating for just day-to-day issues there. And so they showed a great video of that in Cuba. They talked a great deal about Venezuela and what's going on there in Venezuela. Over the last two leaders that they've had there, they thought that the leader that's in there now was going to be pretty good, but then he switched to and went back to socialism. They go into a little bit about gun control. One of the great things, there's nothing great about what they talked about, the Parkland shooting. The Parkland shooting is what they brought in there, but one of the things that was said there that we need to understand in regard to our schools is that this thing that, remember in school, many of the people that are on right now, and I'm guessing that Dixie, even though she thought that guy was an actor, Dawn, maybe even Amy. Amy's really young. She's only like 20. Who else is on here? There were some other people on here that I saw and I can't see. Everybody needs a comment so I can see that you're on here. President Pumpkin will lose. Too much steroids. Yeah, he's definitely on steroids. People are crazy. I love people. I love the morons that come here and comment. Cindy, I'm not sure what your age is, but you remember when I got Priscilla, nice to see you. I remember that the principal in my junior high, I'm not sure about my elementary, she probably did too, but my principal in junior high had the paddle that hanging on behind his desk that he would paddle you with if you got in trouble. Right? If you spoke out in school, if you said the teacher was a dipwad, you'd be called to the principal and you would get a paddle. And I'm not that old. But that was great times, right? We didn't do that. You didn't throw stuff in class. You didn't argue with the teacher. You didn't try to kick the teacher's ass like what's happening in our schools today. But what was brought up in the Parkland shooting is that what they were trying to do is end suspensions and expulsions. And you could have 4 misdemeanors, not 4 disruptions, not 4 acting out, like pink slips to the principal, not 4 of those. You could have 4 misdemeanors. You could commit 4 misdemeanors in school before you would be suspended or expulsed from class. That you would have expulsion from class. 4 misdemeanors, not just acting out. Are you listening to what I'm telling you? You can act out all you want. You can be a dickwad all you wanted in class, but that's okay. And you can also have 4 misdemeanors. Commit 4 criminal misdemeanors before you would be suspended from school. This kid who committed the Parkland shooting, the father of one of the victims, his daughter, beautiful daughter, was shot 12 times by this shooter. And at point blank, I think she was shielding somebody, and the guy stood over and shot through her and killed not only her, but the person that she was shielding. Had 45 law enforcement calls to his house. 45 law enforcement calls to his house, and he was still in school, and even made videos about how he was going to kill the people at the school. Just incredible stuff. Then it goes on to talk about fake news. Oh, I left the steroid guy up there too long. Hold on. I just thought that was pretty cool that he thinks that blue man or orange man, sorry, pumpkin man, whatever he called it. Oh, the good old days. Yeah, the good old days. The paddling. Paddling is fantastic. Bring back paddling. I got punched in the face when I was in 2nd grade for shoplifting. My dad punched me in the face in the manager's office at Kmart. And I didn't even steal. I did steal it, but I only stole, it was handlebars for my bicycle. I only stole one of them. I didn't steal both. And my dad got called. I got picked up by the Buena Park Police Department. They took me back. My dad took me back to the manager's office, said, "Tell me what happened." Well, your son came in here and he stole the handle grip. And then my dad turned to me and punched me in the face. I was in 2nd grade. How old is that? My son's not that old, 9 years old. Punched me in the face, knocked me out in the manager's office. I never stole again. I became a cop. See, that's what happens. These pansies, these snowflakes today aren't willing to do that. All right, so fake news. So let me go back to my banners here. You got fake news in Hollywood. Great discussion on fake news in Hollywood. And in the Hollywood part, one thing that I'd never heard before, and again, another saying I'm going to use, is that what happens, what the actor that they use, it's a black actor that is on Grey's Anatomy. I forgot his name, doctor or something, or maybe Amy remembers. But what he talked about is that the problem with Hollywood is that many of the actors and many of the people that work in Hollywood are either gay or the lesser thans in schools. We always made fun of the drama people in our school. You just did. That's what you did. That was like, if you went into drama, you knew you were going to be made fun of. That was the way it was. You were in band or you were in drama. You were a band or drama person. You weren't on the football team. I was on the football team. I was on track, and I dated cheerleaders. And I was on the court, the homecoming court, and all that kind of stuff. And so, of course, we made fun of the drama people. And that's just what you did. I'm sorry. I'm just admitting this out loud. But what he said was that you had all the people, the gays and people that were kind of made fun of in school would come to Hollywood, and what they are is the revenge of the hurt. The revenge of the hurt is big in Hollywood, and so they are trying to make everybody else hurt, and that's the cancel culture that they were talking about. Cancel culture is the revenge of the hurt. I thought that was a really good thing that they brought up there. That is a big problem with Hollywood. Yeah. Oh, huge. There is a big problem in Hollywood, yes. Lesson learned. I'm not sure what they were referring to, but I'm sure that was funny or appropriate. All right, so then, so the next thing. So let's then talk about, so I'm gonna stop my banners on that. I'm gonna get rid of my lower third here. And I'm going to talk, there's a lot more. The movie was fantastic. Hopefully I've made the case that there's a lot of really good stuff in there. Good tools, good information. Again, I worry that the people that won't see it are the ones that need to see it, right? The people that are believing media, right? He talks about fake news and how they're using the news media and they're being paid. Islam, and we talk a lot about George Soros, but Islam is playing the media. That was one of the things that I never thought about, that Islamic terrorists, Ilhan Omar people are paying the media to squash the stories of her marrying her brother, election fraud, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So a lot of the media in the area of Minnesota is being paid to ignore I forgot what they said, 7 or 8 crimes that she's committed since she's been in office, to bury that and not allow it to get out to where people can know. And so there's a lot of discussion about that. But one thing I want to end on in regard to what they talked about, I know this is a mess and I'm so sorry, but I'm going to move my mic over here just a little bit so you can hear. And the thing about Biden that needs to be understood is that he personally, supposedly, did not get a ton of money from being vice president. He got paid as being vice, whatever that is, $200,000 a year or whatever it is. I don't know how much he gets paid, but it's a sure. But there's if he gets any kind of job or job proposal outside of his vice presidency while he's vice president, of course he has to report it and actually probably say that he can't do it. He's the be vice president and he can't have a conflict of interest of any kind. But if your family members get a job in areas where you are responsible for, nothing has to be claimed, which I'm sure a law is going to change here pretty quickly once we find out more. But you got Joe Biden up here as vice president of the United States, senator for 47 years. And people that have benefited from him being vice president are people that have always been in trouble. His brother Frank, never made it in the real estate business. I think he went bankrupt and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know that much about James Biden, but apparently was not doing that great. And then of course Hunter, we know Hunter is a loser, right? He got kicked out of the military for taking drugs. He was a drug addict. He was dating strippers and cheating on his wife and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? He's a horrible, terrible person, not educated to do any of the things that he eventually did. But you have Joe Biden. He has his brother. Joe Biden is responsible for some issues that are going on in Costa Rica. And then following Joe Biden going to Costa Rica, Frank, his brother, comes in with an energy deal in Costa Rica called Sun Fund America. Frank has no history and no knowledge of energy. He doesn't know anything about energy, but somehow he gets a job on the board and creates a Sun Fund America and gets a deal in Jamaica for $47 million. $47 million. After Joe begins working with Costa Rica on some energy stuff. I don't know. That just seems kind of fishy. So maybe that's a coincidence. But also his James's brother James, who is another loser, he takes his company Hillstone Real Estate and goes to Iraq. Right? He's a failure in the United States, but he can go to Iraq. He goes to Iraq and gets a deal in Iraq in a construction company through Hillstone Real Estate for $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. Who's in charge of Iraq? Joe Biden. All right, Joe Biden now goes to China, takes his son with him. It's so obvious. He's on the plane, right? Air Force Two goes to China. A couple of days later, maybe a week later, maybe a month later, I don't know, but it was not that long afterwards. His son Hunter gets an equity fund deal that nobody else can get on the planet. People that actually know what they're doing with equity funds cannot get this deal. Somehow, Hunter, who knows nothing about equity, knows nothing about really anything other than strippers and taking drugs, and how not to stay in the military, somehow he gets a deal for $1.5 billion in an equity deal and becomes a partner in China. In China. Chyna. China. Hunter gets a deal. Then he goes to Ukraine. He knows nothing about energy. We know this story, right? We know the story. And he gets paid $83,333 a month for almost 5 years, from 2014 to 2019. Him and his partner each get $83,333 a month. That's about $1 million each per year for 5 years. After his dad is in charge of Ukraine and the dealings in Ukraine, and then tells them to fire the prosecutor who's investigating the guy who he's working with, who's paying him, his son, $83,333 a month. Right? All of that just being they just happened to end up, Hunter just happened to end up in China and Ukraine. Even James just happened to end up in Iraq. His brother Frank just happened to end up in Costa Rica. What are the it's just coincidence. There's nothing to see here. It's all bunk. It's all been disproven. All of that. They're just these These guys that know nothing about anything that they're doing happen to get these lucrative deals in these countries. And so that's part of it. That's all in there too. So just please watch this movie. Try to get some of the people that you know to watch this movie, and kind of just understand what's happening, what's going on. Let me just look at some of these comments. And I'm going to end on the note that I just want to finish on really quick. This is crazy, right? I mean, the movie is fantastic. It's the Connery movie. It's a documentary. I know that there's no actors. Well, there is an actor playing the voice of Donald Trump on occasion, which is way off. I don't know. I think they kind of went overboard. It kind of makes me laugh when they have the whoever's doing the voiceover that's pretending to be Donald Trump. They actually have some footage of Donald Trump, but then they have this voice actor playing Donald Trump on a couple of moments. I mean, it's obviously it sounds kind of like him, but it's so over the top. It's kind of funny. You'll find it interesting. I was in band and drama and track. Well, see, you were in track. You made up for it. Let's see here. She's a dang felon. Why is she not facing a jury? Who knows? Hard to see what I know. I said that it was hard. Are you not listening to me, Dixie? Come on, Dixie, turn the volume up on your computer. I said that you probably can't see. I said it's a mess. I admitted that it's a mess. Earlier, you told me to read the definition. I'd already read the definition. Come on, Dixie. All right. Can see the whiteboard fine. Okay, good. See, Don can see it. What are you watching? Your phone? Who watches anything on their phone? So silly. That was the very thing that President Trump. I know. Donald Trump's impeached for this. Look at this. Look at this mess. This is a mess. It's a mess for our government. How stupid is everything? Interview about Trump card with Dinesh. Oh, good. Oh, I can't wait to watch that. That's going to be so good. All right. So what did I want to finish with? I want to make sure that you guys take this away with you in the hopes that it will go just a little bit further. And that is this. Now, we only have a couple weeks, right? We have 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something, not even quite 4 weeks, whatever it is. We don't, whatever. Just no, we don't have enough time. You need to start like today before you go to bed tonight. Is that you need to start working on at least a couple liberal friends that even the hard-nosed ones, whatever, even like the guy that says that Donald Trump's on steroids. He's watching, right? And what I like, and that's why I don't cancel anybody. That's why I don't kick anybody off my Facebook. I don't kick anybody off my Facebook, my Twitter, my Twitch, or anything. No matter what they say to me, no matter if they even threaten me, I don't kick them off. Well, that's not true. There was one guy that threatened me pretty strongly that I did kick off. But other than that guy, so one, and I got something like 5. If I add everybody up, it's something like 5,000 people somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe before that, between all the different social medias that I have going on right here, is that I have a lot of liberals that kind of watch. It's kind of like the dog trainers in the dog training business, right? I know that there are dog trainers watching everything that I do, and they hate my guts. Right. And they will say so. They will put in comments and say, you're a jerk, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's perfect. I never cancel anyone out because I love their comments, because their comments either give me fuel, give me information, give me topics that I can talk about, that kind of stuff. But on the other end, maybe at some point I can change their mind. So I'm going to go to the dog thing really quick. If there's a dog guy that's using a method of training that is harming dogs and harming people, hopefully through watching me, I can help him do something a little bit different, maybe change and tweak something so he's not doing damage to the dogs because he thinks that's how he's been taught. I was taught to damage dogs. I was taught to hit dogs with a stick. I was taught to hit dogs with a cattle prod. I was taught a very brutal way of training dogs. That's how I was taught originally. I've changed. And so now I want to help other people. Now, in regard to what I'm talking about, in regard to Democrats right now in our world that are really for the destruction of our country, whether they know it or not, I think there's a number of Democrats that believe that they're on the right side of things, that just hating Donald Trump is enough. There's many Democrats that just believe that hating Donald Trump is all that's important. Voting for Biden's not going to change it. No, you're putting the United States in danger voting for Joe Biden. You're putting the country in danger by voting for Kamala Harris. You're putting the country in danger by keeping people like Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and Nadler and Adam Schiff and all of these morons in power. The great thing about Donald Trump is that he is cleaning the swamp. And there's no other way to put it. He's exposing all these idiots. All right. So what you need to do is you need to work hard You need to speak up. I'm talking now to you conservatives and those of you that are watching and that are paying attention, is that you need to work hard to show them that just hating Donald Trump is not enough to vote Democratic. You can still hate him, but love what he's doing in regard to some policies and how he's exposing some of these morons that are truly for the destruction of the United States of America. And I want you to be hopeful, because I think that I can count. I know for sure of 5. So me, one person, I know that 5 people have contacted me and say, since I've been watching you, I have decided not to vote Democrat and I'm going to vote Republican. So I have 5 people now. 3 of them were wobblers. They didn't know what they were doing. They were so like, I hate both parties. I hate both people. And the other 2 were hard Democratic people, right? And then I know of maybe 2 or 3 others that are now not going to vote Democrat, but they're also not going to vote for Trump. So you can even add that, which is perfectly fine. As long as you're not voting for Biden, I will be somewhat happy, but you need to vote for Trump. I mean, you really need to, I'm hoping these other 2 people, I could say, listen, I know that you're going to vote for one of these other morons. What's the singer, the black guy? I forget his name. Kanye West. Don't vote for Kanye. If you're going to vote, that's a waste. He's never going to be president. Vote for Donald Trump. I know you hate him. I know you hate his tweets. I know you hate that. That he's divorced. What you're voting for is not Donald Trump. What you're voting for is saving the United States of America. So 5. So I'm one person. I've got 5 people that I know for sure that are voting for Donald Trump based on me speaking out and doing these shows and sending messages back and forth and staying consistent and strong and always making sure that I have the facts. And always saying, you know what, if I don't know something, then I'm going to find out and I will help you understand that. It's the same thing with the Bible. When somebody asks me about the Bible, in most cases, I go, I don't know. I need to ask somebody that knows. Let me walk across. My neighbor's a pastor. I'll go across to my neighbor and ask him if I need to. I'll send a message to one of my friends. It's okay not to know. But all you need to do is be strong and say, listen, a vote Democrat is for the destruction of the United States of America in our Constitution. That's all they need to know. I know you hate Donald Trump. I know you think he's orange. I know you think he's on steroids. I know all that. But you got to understand also, if you're voting Democrat, you're voting for the destruction of the country that we love. You're voting for the destruction of our Constitution. You're voting for ending everything that we know about the United States and taking us into another place that we don't want to go. It will be hard to get out if we go by way of socialism. And so I want to encourage you that you may not want to go live on Facebook. You may not, I don't know what it is. Go knock on a door, go talk to somebody, wear a shirt that says Trump, and then have that conversation. I've had conversations at the gym with people. They go, why are you voting for him? He's such a horrible person. I go, well, you can think that, it's okay. But all the policies that he's put into place has been great for the United States of America. He may be a horrible person. I don't think that he is, but you may think that he is. But this horrible person is saving the United States of America. This horrible person has done more for the black community than any other president in our history since Abraham Lincoln. And that is the truth. That is not lying. I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm telling you, he's done more. You can look at every president since Abraham Lincoln and say, what have they done other than abolition, which is thanks to Abraham Lincoln? What president since then has done anything? Even Republican presidents. We know Democrat presidents do nothing. We know they've never done anything other than cause more turmoil in black communities. That's what the Democrats have done for blacks. I know that they claim that they're not. They've not done anything. But I can have these conversations, and I feel comfortable having these conversations because of research, studying, make sure I have facts, and then also going, it's okay that you hate them. It's okay that you hate the orange guy because you're not voting for him. You're voting for the United States of America. That's all you need to remember. Don't vote for the man. If you hate the man that much, don't vote for him, but do vote for the United States of America. If all of us did this, if everybody does what, 10 people here, let's just say the 10, I'm going to go with 10. Let's just say the 10 people that are actively watching now on the one Facebook page that I'm monitoring, if all 10 of you also had 5 people, that's 50 people now voting for the president of the United States that we want, which is Donald Trump. So if it's 2, that's 2. It's still more than you had before. If a lot of people were able to do that and just stay strong and speak out and not be silent, we would be a lot further off when it comes to November, when it comes to election day. So I am just encouraging you. Don't be silent. Don't give up. We only have a few weeks. You can stay strong. You can stick with it. I think the reason I took a nap today is because I just saw somebody say they're exhausted. I'm exhausted from trying to enlighten brainwashed, hateful people. I know. That's why I take a nap. Just take a nap, Amy. Just take a nap and then get right back on it because it's worth it. It's worth it. I tell people all the time that they're not speaking out because they're going to lose their job. They're not speaking out because they're going to lose business. They're not speaking out because they're going to lose customers. I know that I have people that I do stuff on a social media platform that's our main source of income for some of my other business interests. And they hate the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing. I know they don't like it, but I can't not do it. The future of our country is far more important than losing 1 or 2 customers. The future of our country is far more important for my children. I'm doing it for me selfishly, but I'm doing it also more importantly for my children and their children. And I can't say, you know what, I'm going to lose 4 customers, at $400 an hour a piece. So screw the United States of America. That doesn't, I can't do it. I'd rather give that up than lose the United States of America. I worked as a police officer where I woke up and got in uniform and I went out there in the middle of the night while all of you were sleeping and went towards stuff where most people would not go towards. Dead bodies, people with their heads cut off, shootings in progress, robberies in progress, pursuits through the streets of Anaheim, onto the freeways, all the way down to San Diego, all the way up into LA and San Bernardino, chasing people at 120 miles an hour. Why? Because I cared about the United States of America. So it's kind of in me, and I want it to be in you. If just speak out, just talk, inform, enlighten. I know it's exhausting and it's tiring, but I stay strong. And I had some people that were really strong not long ago that were calling me names and saying that I was a Nazi, saying that I was a horrible person, saying that I was a horrible parent. And they have softened up, and I think that they are going to vote for Donald Trump. That took a long time though, and I stayed strong. So I'm encouraging you that it seems like a lost cause. It's not. You're not going to get everybody, but you may get 1 or 2. So be strong. Can we use the cattle prods on the dam? Sometimes I wish we could. Needs to start the criminal prosecuting of the top. Yeah, I know. I wish somebody would go to jail. I love thank you. Thank you, Dixie, for that. I appreciate that very much. And you hope I'm just messing around when I say stuff. Grassroots. Priscilla, I'm so happy you're not silent. I love you and love that you are not being silent. That is fantastic. President Trump is passionate about his love and best for our country. I have no problem with his personality. He's tough on the outside, but he's teddy bear on the inside. People love it. You love him. People love him. People that know him love him. And they think he's fantastic. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is good men to do nothing, and women. Absolutely. I don't want to be sexist. Amy, absolutely right. That I would actually want to get a tattoo of that. I've thought about. There's 2 tattoos I want, and that's one of them. All right, my friends. I hope this has been helpful for you to make a decision to watch Trump Card. Again, I've watched it 4 times. It's like actually 4.5. I keep wanting to say 5 because I started watching it again, but that was to prepare for the show. But watch it. It's worth watching more than once. It gives you material. It gives you speaking points. It in some cases, it tells you some things to counter the things that are being thrown at you, like people talking about the steroids and that's all just blah, 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 blah. People saying these on steroids. The guy just spoke on Rush Limbaugh for 2 hours. They talk about his cough. He's got a cough. He's going to die. The following day he spoke for 2 hours. I get a cough and have a frog in my throat. So those are nothings. It's the other stuff that they throw at you that you want to make sure and have some material. The stuff about Joe Biden, it's hard to ignore. Right. And this is where that's where I get strong and say, okay, now you're just being dumb. You're voting for this guy right here. He's cognitively in trouble. It's obvious, right? They're hiding him. He can't talk. They're not allowing him to take questions. There's a reason for that. He's not even telling you what his platform is or his policies are because they'll mess them up. He doesn't want to, because he also doesn't want to upset the left. He doesn't want to upset the Bernie boys, bros. He doesn't want to upset a whole bunch of people. So he doesn't say anything. So they're not going to tell you what their policies are. They're not going to land on one. They're not going to pick one. They're going to go back and forth depending on who they're talking to. And yet he has all this in his background. Not to mention 47 years of doing nothing. Not to mention plagiarism. Not to mention that he's possibly embezzled some money. Not to mention that they've suggested that he's committed some type of sexual assault on some women, at some point, which one of those things? How about all of them? Like all of them would say, okay, I'm not voting for him. But this alone, like this should be the what, like this just all by itself should be, I'm not voting for that guy. He's benefited, his family has benefited from him being in office. How much do you think they're going to benefit from him being president? Are you crazy? Do you get $1.5 billion just for being the vice president's son? Do you get that? No. Do you get $83,333 a month for 5 years for doing something you know nothing about? No. I mean, if you're a socialist, that's the thing you're against, is it not? If you're a socialist, you're against people getting money that don't deserve it. That's your platform. And yet you're voting for a guy who gets his son $83,333 a month. That doesn't sound like socialism to me. Well, giving him it for free, that is true. But he didn't share it with, he maybe shared it with a couple strippers. He shared it with his drug dealer, but he's not sharing it with the world. He's not giving it out. They're hiding this money. Did his brother James, did he share the $1.5 billion with you? Did he pay your school tuition with it? No, he kept it for himself. Did Frank share the $47 million he made in Jamaica? Did you see any of that money? Socialist? This is the guy you're voting for. If we added all this up, I don't even know what it would be. I can't, I'm horrible at math. So 1 million, that's 48 million. That's like close to trillions of dollars. That's close to a lot of money. What? Are you crazy? All right. I'm going to end this. I got to end this. You guys just keep me going. And there's you have it, sports fans. Thank you. And I'm not smart. I'm not a smart guy. I'm just passionate. And I have common sense. Like you say you're a socialist, but this doesn't look like socialism to me. This doesn't look like socialism to me. Oh my God. Absolutely, Amy. You're so right. We're freaking, yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got this Keith Olbermann. Who let him out of whatever? That was crazy. I didn't even, like I said, I go, you are like, do you do baseball or something like that? What the hell are you talking about politics for? You're a moron. You're just so stupid. It doesn't, I mean, nothing that he said made any sense. They should arrest Amy. I always forget her whole name because she's got like 5 names, whatever her name is. Judge Amy. I demand they arrest Judge Amy. And I'm like I'm doing good. Like, what did she do? Like, I thought maybe something happened while I was sleeping. What did she do? Did she shoplift? did she rob a bank? I don't know. Not Amy Phelps, but Judge Amy. What did Amy do that Keith Olbermann feels that she should be arrested? I don't understand. Does anybody know what he thinks that she should be arrested for? Does that make any sense to you? I don't know. Because I don't watch anything anymore. I'm going to tell you one more thing. I watched hockey religiously. Hockey games, even when my teams weren't playing on. So I was a Kings and Ducks fan, like for years. And I played hockey. And I played hockey, and I come home and watch hockey. And then I play hockey in the front yard with my kids. And I have not watched any hockey. I've not watched any football. I used to love football. Baseball, I've always hated. Since Fernando Valenzuela pitched for the Dodgers. That's the last time I watched baseball. And basketball, never. After Magic and Kareem were out, I stopped watching. But I've not watched any pro sports. I don't watch Netflix anymore. I don't watch television anymore. And my life is so fulfilling now. It's so much better. And maybe that's why I didn't know that Olbermann was a thing. I don't know he's a thing. I thought he was just on NBC, like the local NBC, like a sports guy. Who knew? All right. So I'm sorry. Now I'm just blabbering. I'm going to stop blabbering. All right, my friends. I love you guys. Go see Trump Card. Go see. Sit down on your couch and put it on Apple TV. Watch it. Watch it more than once, because you'll see little things that you missed the first time, and they'll catch you, right? And look up some words. Like me, there's big words in there, and I had to look them up to be quite frank with you. All right, my friends. I love you. God bless, and I will see you at the next one. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.